Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of the Nobody Important podcast. I am Ramon.
I am Felipe.
And, surprise, surprise, this is actually the first episode we've been able to record for about 3 months where we're actually in the same room.
Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry. Every time you say a number of episode, it catches me off guard. It's like, man, it's been a while.
Yeah, man. We had a brief kind of like 2-week, couple week hiatus since our last episode. A couple things came up that I will talk about, and we'll kind of go into it and address kind of why there was such a long delay. But yeah, this is the first time we've actually hung out in at least 3 months now, and so it's been a pretty fun day. It's been a pretty eventful day.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually curious to figure out how long it's been since we've actually seen each. Well, it would have to been the apple ring. No, the peach rings.
Yeah, so it has been a while. It's definitely been a while since we've hung out. But so we are actually hanging out in the same house, it's been really cool. This week is actually a pretty big week, and it's kind of what led up to everything and why we're all hanging out again. So this coming weekend is my 30th birthday. I am getting old. I'm definitely becoming an old man. And so my wife and I were doing just kind of like a little barbecue here just for ourselves. We wanted to just grill some stuff. And Felipe happened to be driving by the neighborhood, and I was giving him some shit, and he ended up bringing some food and dropping off. And then we told him to come back and be part of the grill and everything that we were doing. And yeah, now here he is.
Yeah, no, cool. The conversation started last night, right? You guys called me out of the blue, and then suddenly your wife asked me, where can you guys get good flour tortillas? I'm like, I don't know, but I can at least hit up a butcher shop in Carniceria and see. Because if you go to like a regular carniceria, they have like a bunch of tortillas, like so many. So I knew I would be able to at least get a few. I think I brought you guys 3 different kinds, knowing she's picky. She will like one of them. And then when I met you earlier today, the plan was to kind of give you all this stuff when I just completely forgot to buy the tortillas. But I was like, no, I have to.
His pride, he had to bring them. He promised tortillas to my wife, and therefore he had to bring them because she won't let him live it down if he didn't.
Yeah, no. There was that, and then I was already in this area because I wanted to bring you let's just talk about it.
Yeah, so this week for our featured drink of the week, we actually were drinking earlier, so we've stopped now because after recording this episode, Felipe has to drive and go home, so we decided, all right, we're not going to drink anymore tonight. But earlier today, we did have a couple things to drink. We started off with very simple, just kind of like our twist on like a Jack and Coke. We just did a bourbon and cherry Pepsi, which I'm biased. I don't like Jack Daniels. I'm not a huge fan of Coke, but I love cherry Pepsi and I love a good bourbon. And so a combination of Evan Williams bourbon with the cherry Pepsi came out fantastic.
You know what? We've been friends for like 15 plus years. I've never noticed that you don't have Coke in this house. You've only had Pepsi. It just hit me to right now when you say you're not the biggest fan of Coke. I'm like, that's right. There really is never Coke in this house.
No, it's always Pepsi. To be fair, we will buy Coke, but only if it's on like a really, really good sale. Like if you see those like the 12 packs at like 4 for $10, we'll buy it then. But lately, up until literally probably the last couple of weeks, I haven't even been drinking any soda. We just decided to buy some, and that's pretty much why we ended up having some soda now. Otherwise, I normally wouldn't even have it here. But it's made for some very easy cocktails because, like I said, cherry Pepsi and
just any bourbon.
Just like Evan Williams, like just a cheap bourbon. You don't want to go like some crazy, really good bourbon for something like cherry Pepsi. Mm-hmm. So, bottle of Evan Williams, $15, $20, and it's like you can just throw it in whatever the hell you want.
And it's high proof too. That's the best part. It's cheap and high proof.
And it's consistent because it's bonded, so even better. So yeah, we started off with that. And then the real reason Felipe came by was that he wanted to bring my birthday present early.
And that is because if I took that to my house, I would have finished it.
Valid, yeah. So I totally believe that he would have drank it if he had actually taken it to his own house. The present that he brought was a bottle of very, very good tequila called Clase Azul. And
if you check our story today, which is, well, unfortunately, you probably won't see it unless you see it right now.
Yeah,
so
well, we're gonna have
it's important to follow us on Instagram because I posted pictures of the bottle on there, and it's a pretty bottle.
Yeah, so that was like our teaser that we were going to be recording an episode today, was that we posted something on Instagram saying like, hey, it's the first time we've hung out in 3 months. And so it's a gorgeous bottle. If you've never seen them, we'll post just like a regular picture or something with it. But gorgeous bottles. The bottles and the artwork on the bottles are all handcrafted and hand painted, each individual bottle. And so no 2 bottles are ever the same. They will have a similar theme and like a similar design, but they're never completely identical. They're literally pieces of art. And one thing that we found out is that when you actually open the box that they come in, they actually give you instructions that after you finish the bottle, you should upcycle it and turn it into like a flower vase.
Yeah, that was cool. I was not expecting instructions how to turn it into like a flower vase. That's pretty funny.
I mean, granted, clean it, put water in flowers. Done.
I mean, you can do that to any bottle, but it like the way the bottle looks, like you said, it's art.
Yeah, it's legitimately a good-looking bottle. And also, we had to break it open because, like, what good is having a really nice decorative bottle of tequila if you don't actually drink it and try it? And it's up there with some of our favorite tequilas we've ever had.
It's my favorite.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Like the 1942 we had at your wedding was really good, but man, the Clase Azul just hits different, man. It just
it was super smooth. It didn't burn like at all. That little hint of vanilla and everything in it too. Like it was. If you are a tequila drinker, and this isn't the tequila that you mix, this isn't a tequila that you take shots with.
Nope.
You sip it, you savor it. It's legit. Like it's absolutely legit. Super smooth. I really want some more, but I shouldn't have any more tonight.
It's worth the price.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably like, knowing that bottle, that size, probably somewhere like $80-$90-ish.
Plus tax, yeah.
Yeah. And so I appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, that was my birthday present from Felipe. And like I said, my birthday is this weekend. So
I'm so glad we really got into making cocktails and drink a lot more now, because gift giving is so much easier now.
It really is.
It's like for Christmas, you give me whiskey stones. For your birthday, I got you tequila.
Yeah. And actually, just recently, Felipe, he brought a client to my business that ended up closing a pretty decent sized deal. So as a referral fee, I got him a bottle of his favorite bourbon.
Yes. So man, like from the work standpoint, I'm so glad they went with your idea, because I was stressing out over that thing like for 6 months. It's been a headache, and it's like, hey, I have a friend who's an agent who can do this and do this and do this, and it's the quickest way to do it. And I'm so relieved. Just like one more week ish.
Yeah, everything should be done and funded, and like everything should be signed Thursday. Barring any unforeseen stuff with legal, everything should go well. But yeah, kind of knock on wood over here. But so yeah, as like a referral fee and as just like a thank you, I got him his favorite bottle of bourbon too. So we've basically just like spent the exact same amount on each other's gifts. So it's kind of a wash. It's like we bought it for ourselves. I didn't think about that until right now, but yeah, that's basically what just happened.
It's been a good few months for the alcohol since we can't go out. My collection has grown. Like
you saw mine.
Yeah,
mine's even gotten bigger.
Yeah.
Like I was able to find like the Angel's Envy. Obviously, I got my Blantons now, which I'm super happy about.
Speaking of which, of the Angel's Envy, a few weeks ago he was at Sam's Club. And he told me, hey, they got the Angel's Envy here.
And not just Angel's Envy, but it was on sale for like $10 cheaper than it ever has been anywhere.
So, I went to go buy it, but of course, if you go to Sam's Club, you're going to buy more. So I bought a bunch of other crap. But yeah, the best part of that was finding the Angel's Envy. Because, man, it's a bitch. And the worst part is that you find it.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you find it.
Yep.
And I go to the same stores, and I can't find it.
Dumb luck, dude. Like, just straight dumb luck that I'm able to find some stuff like that. And then all the ones that I want, you found. Which, by the way, you tried one recently that I wanted to ask you about. It was what was that bourbon? Writer's Tears.
Oh, it's a Irish whiskey.
Irish whiskey. Okay.
Irish whiskey. Yeah. Well, as preparation to board meetings, I always like to go out to eat before it because between work and there. So I went to the bar next door, and I had recently just watched a video on it, and the name catches you, right? Writer's Tears, and so I tried it at the bar. I liked it, so I had to buy a bottle. Once it's too expensive. It smells like apple juice.
Interesting.
And
okay.
No joke, it just straight up smells like if you bought one of those little bottles, like the ones.
Oh, like the Martinelli's bottles.
Yes. That's what it smells like. It smells like apple juice, and it tastes, like Irish whiskey. You get the buttery taste and stuff like that.
That's probably why I couldn't find it because I was just looking in like regular whiskeys and bourbon. I wasn't looking for Irish whiskey for it.
Oh, maybe
because I want to try it now.
It's pretty cool. So far, it's been my favorite Irish whiskey just because it smells like fucking apple juice. Jameson, there's nothing too special about it. And I've tried the Tullamore.
Okay.
Again, it's nothing too special about it, but just one, it's a cool ass name. Like if you have a bottle of Writer's Tears, people who see it, I was like, what does that taste like? And then when you tell them, bro,
yeah,
let me show you.
It's a story. Like it's 100% a story that goes with it.
It goes the same with the bottle of the one that your friend got you, the Rooster one. What's it?
Oh yeah, so there's a bourbon called Fighting Cock.
Yeah, of course. That's a story. Of course you want to talk about the Fighting Cock bourbon.
Yeah, we have yet to try it. It is overproofed like hell.
I noticed that when we were moving the bottles.
It's like $15 for a bottle, which is like super cheap. So it's just this super cheap. It's probably freaking like lighter fluid, but I'm curious to try it one of these days. I don't want to necessarily break it open now because I want that friend that brought it. I want him to be here when we break it open because it's only fair. He's the one that got it for us, and we never opened it that day that he brought it because we were drinking other stuff. But he's actually also the same person that gave us the one Belgian beer that we had, like one of the
episode 2?
Yeah, something like one of the early episodes that we did. He's the same one that brought that beer too, and so he's had some good recommendations. That beer was good. So I'm curious for this.
He's had one fuck up though.
That peanut butter stout or whatever the hell.
Fuck you, dude. The fuck is wrong with you?
He listens to podcasts too.
I know, that's why I said it. I see that he follows us and he literally reads the stories. So shout out to you, and also fuck you for the peanut butter beer.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. But
the good thing is that he took it back. So that was
cool.
He
took it and he finished it. Like we each had like a little bit of one bottle, and we're like, no, fuck this, and he took it back. So appreciate you taking it back. I'm sure you enjoyed it, but we did not in the slightest, at all.
Which one I wanted? I'm curious. Is there's, I think New Belgium makes this horchata beer. They also make a mole beer.
Interesting.
Oh, actually, speaking of beers,
Dude.
I sent you the TikTok the other day of Modelo doing 2 different takes on their classic beer. One, which the thing said it's finished in oak barrels, bourbon barrels.
In bourbon barrels.
And then they have one that's finished in tequila.
In tequila barrels or whatever they
age tequila in. I don't know. You're the tequila drinker here. I'm not. I only drink tequila when I come to your house. So
yeah, no, so same thing. Tequila gets aged, or it has different tastes and flavors and everything.
Oh, that's right,
because
it gets color from the barrels.
Yeah, it gets color. So you have the blanco, the reposado, and añejos. So you have just all different time frames that they're aged, and obviously the more that it's aged, the smoother it is. Which actually, now that I think about it, the clase azul that you brought is the reposado. Mm-hmm. The 1942 is an añejo. It's aged longer. It should theoretically be smoother, but it's not.
I feel like it also should be darker, but it's not. Like when you poured yourself the 1942, you actually accidentally poured yourself.
Yeah, I poured way too much. And I blame it on an unsteady hand after having a couple other drinks already.
It looked a lot lighter than the Clase Azul.
I'm pretty sure I didn't get them mixed up. I'm pretty sure it's Blanco Reposado Añejo. It might be Blanco Añejo Reposado, but no, I think it's
Blanco Reposado. Yeah, it's Reposado's medium because that's what Clase Azul is, and it's not that dark.
Yeah, okay. So see what happens when we start talking about liquor. We've had a few drinks today, and it's a fantastic topic, actually. And funny enough, there's a topic that I still don't know enough about, but I'm getting into, and I have a couple friends that are excited for me to do it. Cigars.
Oh, yes. You
So
mentioned
I
that.
still have yet to open. Like I have a buddy that gifted me like 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, dude, you just got to try them. Especially if you're having bourbon or whatever, like you have to have them like with that bourbon. Like they pair very, very well. And I have yet to try them. They're sitting, and I have a little like humidor that he gave
Oh, that's
me that's
good.
got its own little like hygrometer measuring like the humidity and everything. It's in there, made sure it's at a good level. And I have yet to try them. And I don't know, maybe this weekend. It is my birthday coming up, so maybe I'll do it for that. I know my wife has big plans for my birthday this weekend, so that might be part of the full experience of like all the rest of the weekend, which essentially the goal for my wife for my birthday is to just get me fucked up.
I like that idea. It's funny to me. I don't know why. I'm curious. Have you ever... I don't think I've ever seen you drunk.
No.
You've taken care of me drunk. I don't think...
I've taken care of you while you were drunk, yeah.
Yeah.
But not...
We got close that one night in Tempe a few months ago. I
No,
was close.
no, I was. No, never mind. I was.
Because
I threw up that
our
night.
friend had to drive.
Yeah, he was the DD. I threw
Yeah.
up that night. I had way too much. So yeah, we did. Never mind. You have seen me drunk. That was
Man, I feel
not
like,
my greatest night.
I feel like I wasn't drunk, but I probably was.
Yeah, you probably were.
Because I was calling people I shouldn't have. Or I was being called by people I shouldn't have. Oh, man. That was... The funny thing is, we're hanging out in Tempe in our late 20s. We didn't do it when we were in college.
I know. Like, I literally lived on campus and didn't go out, like, at all. And now, like, late 20s, married, like, all this, like...
But we weren't creeping. I made that very clear. We weren't creeping. We were just drinking.
Yeah, I was like, my wife and I are trying to get Felipe and my other buddy to, like, go, like, find a girl, go dance, whatever. We're trying to, like, pull them in. Like, me and my wife, like, legit... I was so freaking gone. I went up to a bachelorette party and like told them congratulations, like all of this stuff. And I tried getting them to come talk to you, but like legit, I remember going around asking each one of them like married,
Yeah, they were all
bachelorette.
married.
I'm like, oh, never mind.
They were all fucking married. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, never mind. You ladies have a great night. Congratulations on your wedding. And just kind of like went about my merry way. And then my wife eventually joined them and like joined their party for a little bit too.
Yeah. Man, that place was so packed.
Yeah. You can't do that now.
I wouldn't walk in there.
No,
There's a line. I'm good.
Yeah. Actually, that's a perfect segue and reminded me of my honor report that we're going to do for this week.
Okay.
And so I'm going to start off with the report because literally it just popped into my head because of us talking about that night. Shout out to all 8 of those bars in Old Town Scottsdale that just got noticed and like are being investigated and potentially
Some I think
fined.
got their second notice.
Yeah,
so that's
and
why they're
potentially
fines.
like fined, shut down, whatever, for violating all of the social distancing, the state and city enforced COVID policies and mandates. Shout out to all 8 of those bars for just being dumbasses about it, and all the people that go to those bars for being dumbasses about it, because now you basically are just contributing to an even bigger hotspot that was already there.
Yep.
Short, sweet report this week.
I'll follow you on that one. I didn't have one until you mentioned it, but now one came to my head. I was like, man, I guess the governor, the one who lifted the restriction, and now Arizona is it's by top.
We're number 1 right now.
Are we number 1? Mm-hmm. We're number 1 for COVID cases, so that's fantastic.
Number 1 for COVID cases, number 48 for education. Let's fucking go. You would think the two have some sort of correlation.
Probably. Dude, like, that one bothered me because, well, even I was of the thought of like, hey, it's really cold in New York. Maybe that's why, because the virus can travel. Viruses don't die in the cold. And it's like, in the summer, we'll be fine. And then I sent you guys that meme where I was like...
yeah, what about that? Us being fine in the summer?
Yeah, it's the summer right now. It's 114 degrees outside, even though it's like close to 7, but past 7. Yeah. And... yeah, we're number 1. We're number 1.
we're number 1 for something. It's not something anyone ever wants to be number 1 for, but I'll be damned, we are.
Yeah, so unfortunate that that's the case, but
Yeah, I will say, I'm gonna do your report for you since you don't have one because I have 2.
That was my report.
Oh, that was your report?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just the
was
same
just me-
bars? And
No,
just a
no, no.
group?
It's just not. It's more like against the governor, like
Okay.
for lifting the face because now we're lifting the restrictions because now we are number one.
Gotcha.
But continue. Go another one. Let's
Okay,
go.
never mind.
It's been a while.
I have report number 2.
Okay.
Because I like to rant about things, and it's just what I do. My wife comments on it. Felipe has commented on it, especially if I'm driving. I tend to rant about things, and I get very angry. So my rant number 2 is on the church in Phoenix that recently held a Trump rally. And here's the reason. I'm not going political on this. I'm not saying the reason that I am reporting them is for hosting the rally. Do what they want to do. They probably made a ton of money off of hosting it. Shout out to them. The reason I'm reporting to them for this rally is the fact that the day before this rally was supposed to take place, they came out with a statement that said that they have installed a technology in their church that eliminates COVID. They have, by using different forms of ionization, by whatever else, they have installed a technology in their church that eliminates COVID, and that's why they're not mandating and requiring people to wear masks during this assembly.
They should probably tell the world about that.
Yes. So, conveniently, guess who created this technology that went into the church?
The pastor.
Members of the church.
Oh my God. I mean, got geniuses in that church. Holy shit.
Yeah. So
Fantastic, guys. Like, yeah, if you got that, you should probably share that with the world. You know, that would be the Christian thing to do.
Yeah.
Is share that with the world that you found something that eliminates this thing.
Yeah. And so, so that's my report number 2 because what the fuck?
I was actually going to defend them because I think I read somewhere that they didn't know the church was rented out to a Trump rally. But fuck that shit. Fuck you for saying that you think that you have this technology that gets rid of COVID.
Yeah, and that's why I said my report has nothing to do with the fact that they held the rally. If that's what they want to do, that's on them. Don't really care. But for being those dumbasses saying that you have installed and someone in your church has invented something on their own that companies making trillions of dollars, like just the combined amount that all these companies are making that are trying to come up with ways to prevent this and fix this and cure this virus. If they can't do it, but all of a sudden some people that happen to go to this church all of a sudden do, fuck out of here.
Okay. All right. Let's change the topic here. Let's go with the positives of our time here. My honor is I saw this video probably on Instagram somewhere where these people that saw a ice cream man, the Mexican ice cream man, the push little carts. If you live in
Paletero man.
Yeah.
Paletero man.
If you live in parts of America that have heavy Hispanic populations, you've seen these older guys. Man,
there was one that went through the neighborhood earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You get the guys with the golf carts yet?
Yeah, that's who he was. It was the guy with the golf cart. He went through the neighborhood. I gotta
stop one of those. I'm curious to see how much of stuff. But anyways, the original ones were the guys who have the push carts with the little bells. And man, sometimes you do tend to feel bad for these people because, it must be really bad in their home country that they come here and they push this little cart in the fucking sun. So, respect to them because, it's not a job anyone wants. So my story, let's take it back, is I saw this video where these guys, because it was Father's Day, they bought everything he had in this little push cart.
Hell yeah.
And it's like, we're buying everything because we want you to go home and enjoy this day with whoever you have to enjoy with. And I was like, man, it goes back to multiple conversations we had on this show where I was like, it would be cool to have that money to be able to do that. It'd be cool to have the fridge space to hold all that ice cream.
Yeah, right?
But, good.
Technically, I do.
Oh, yeah, you got the freezer.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. That's a great thing. It's humans being bros, I think is probably where the subreddit I saw it on. So, good for taking care of someone who's part of the community, really, because, man, I grew up loving those guys.
Oh, yeah. It was always like a joy. You hear that little bell, and you're just like, ooh, you're like...
Mom, I need a... no, mamá, necesito un dólar.
Yeah, pretty much. That's basically
I was going to say it in Spanish and English, please.
Yeah, that's basically what it came down to was always just like you hear that and you're just like, ooh, I'm excited. Like I want to go get something. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say my weakness was the Tweety Bird ice cream. The Tweety Bird with the gumdrop eyeballs.
Yeah, it was always like cross-eyed.
It was always cross-eyed. And because it was frozen, they're always just hard as shit. So you're just like, ah.
That's everyone wanted the bubblegum eyes or the bubblegum ice cream, but them gumballs were hard as shit.
Yeah, so that was my jam. Funny enough, I have two things to rant about for a report. I don't have an honor this week. Yeah, actually, you know what? I do have an honor this week because it's not something that we've talked about, but now the whole world knows. And so the honor actually goes out to my wife because just this week, so this is old news for some friends and, a few people. Or at
family.
least for her family. But we just announced to the rest of our family that she is pregnant and that we are expecting our first son later this year, just at the end of September, so like 3 months away. Woo! So I'm going to give a shout out to her because she is amazing. She has been putting up with my bullshit, which by itself is hard enough to do, and I give her credit for that.
For 15 years.
Exactly. And not only that, but doing it while she is still working full time. And then obviously now just like in pain, like in back pain, leg pain, like legs, like she's getting like cramps in the morning, like in her legs and her calves and like all kinds of things. So I'm just like, you know what? Like she's going through all of that shit. And I'm over here like, I've been drinking all day. And she's just like, I want a drink.
Can I talk about that story when you went to visit me at work the first time, take pictures?
Go.
Where she called you as you were leaving my job, and she called you to complain about the size of her feet being so swollen. And I was like, I haven't heard her voice in a few months, seen her in much more. And that's when I was like, hi. And she's mentioning the size of her feet being swollen. That one was like, God. But it's so her.
Yeah, it really is. It really does fit her. So yeah, my honor that's going out to her this week because she's awesome, and I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for her. I've got a lot of freedom now to basically do the business that I'm doing and starting my business because of her and because like she keeps us in a good place. And so I definitely, while I'm getting that off the ground, she is fucking carrying my ass basically. So yeah, that's going to be my honor. Woo. On a side topic, it's one of those things that me and Felipe, we always kind of bounce ideas back and forth on just social media, on like business ideas, on really anything. I mean, the podcast was an idea that we had for 7 years, 8 years before we finally branched out and did it. Mm-hmm. And so recently, after, all of this time doing the podcast, we're actually now like, okay, potentially trying to see some business ventures together after all these years, which that'll be exciting. We'll see how it turns out. Let us get some of our like creative avenues out and everything. So that'll be kind of fun.
Because man, we've had some good ideas in the past 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man,
we should have acted on them.
Acted on them. Or it's like, man, it would have been good to do this X amount of years. Like that had been the perfect time. And here we are. It's like, well, oh, look, that was our idea there. The food porn Instagram we run.
Yeah.
That was, I noticed that another popular YouTuber has it. And I was like, fuck. It's like,
that would have been something we could have done a long time ago.
Like, yeah.
Which, by the way, Send Foods on Instagram. If you don't follow it, it's send _, I think.
Yep.
So send _ foods, FUDES. It's a play on send nudes. Instead, send foods.
Because, man, it started remember we used to go out to eat once a month? At least that's what our goal was.
That was our goal.
And we were trying to write a blog about it.
Yep.
We never wrote anything.
No, we didn't.
And it's like, we're so glad Instagram is where it is now because it's so much easier. And boy, have I learned the power of hashtags.
Dude,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I remember the very first time you made a post on that page and you included just any hashtags or whatever, and you gave me and our buddy like a preemptive text, and you're like, all right, I'm trying out hashtags for the first time on this post. Legit, like an hour or two later, he's like, holy shit, like 15 people like this post.
Oh, and it even worked on one of the posts for Nobody Important podcast on Instagram. The Mai Tai I posted.
Yeah.
I mean, I posted it like at 11 at night, and we woke up to like a shitload of likes, and I was like, holy shit, we did a good thing here. Turns out the world is equally as alcoholic as we are.
This is true. And so it's been really funny to see Felipe learn that side of like social media and like the importance of like different hashtags and all of that, because his reactions have made it priceless and have made it really, really good.
Dude, turning I forgot what it's called, the business.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the business analytics, like making the account like a business account or a creator account.
Seeing how many people actually see your picture, oh my God. It is like, this picture that was a good picture. I don't want to do that on my personal one because I feel like my personal is just for me. I go back and I reminisce on the stuff I've done or pictures I've taken. So I don't care if I get likes because that's more for me. But the other business ventures we're trying, it's cool to see that this reached like, whoa.
Yeah. The reach was fantastic.
Considering how many followers we have.
Yeah. And so the reach was fantastic, and just the potential for what that can lead to is even better, because I know we're both kind of looking at different things that we can do in like the creative avenues that we have to be able to just continue on. And, we'll see where it goes. This is, if there's any time to really just go for it, it's right now, just with all the craziness happening. Like, you might as well just fucking go for it.
I had one of my employees tell me, it's like, you know what, I read that because of COVID, like 150 new ideas that no one's ever heard about are going to pop up because of this, and this. And I was like, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's what it takes for stuff to change, right? Something world-changing has to happen, and then you see a crazy in business. Like, for a very example, iPhone release, right? First gen was very basic, and then the App Store launched. And apps have become a huge business on their own.
That's it. Yeah, just apps by themselves. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry annually, like if not more.
Perfect example there. So it'd be cool to see if one of these business ventures actually picks up some traction. And
I mean, shit, just a recent example, like with the whole virus and everything going crazy around the world, I've seen probably 10, if not 20 or more different companies making like antibacterial like door openers and like button pressers or whatever that are like made out of copper, because copper is naturally like antimicrobial. And so it's like literally almost like a ring that you attach to like your keys or your lanyard. It's got a little point at the end for like tapping on things, and then it's got like a little hook underneath it for like opening doors.
You know what?
That's fucking it.
I think I've seen one of those, and I thought it was something it wasn't. Now that you're telling me that's what it is, I thought it had a completely different use. Good God, my mind's dirty.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I kind of want to like find something like that now, because
I mean, and they're selling for like $20 or $10 or whatever, but like that alone, it has become its own product in like this whole new industry where people like don't necessarily want to touch things with their hands or whatever. So it's like you have this thing that will naturally over the course of an hour or however long just remove any like chemicals, remove any potential like bacteria, viruses, whatever that attempt to stick to it. They can't, because of just the natural properties of copper. And so
I knew there was a metal that was antimicrobial. I just couldn't remember which one. So copper. Okay.
Copper.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean pennies are antimicrobial, because pennies are some dirty fucking things.
Well, it's because it's not 100% copper. It's 5% copper, like 95% zinc,
Yeah,
I think.
something ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fact that it costs more
to make a penny than it's worth.
Yeah. I don't know if that's actually a thing or if that's just a rumor, but either way, I believe sidetrack and digress on that. But
speaking of metals, I I also when dropping many things off today, I dropped off a cast iron skillet for you because it's something we both have wanted for a long time. As luck would have it, I came across two, and of course I'm like, hey, I got a free one. You want one? And of course Ramon's going to say yes because cast iron skillets aren't cheap.
And so, I mean, to be fair, you can get a decent cast iron skillet for like $20 or
That's
$30.
true. Okay, yeah,
so
you're right.
They're not that expensive. It's just one of those things that I don't necessarily want to go out of my way to buy because I've never used one, so I don't inherently know like all the benefits of it. But yeah, I was like, he told me, hey, here's a free cast iron skillet. Do you want it? I'm like, fuck yes, because free is one of my favorite 4-letter words that begins with F.
God damn it. Anyways, I wasn't even here. So here's the thing about today. I wasn't planning on staying long, right? My goal was to drop off the tequila and the tortillas and then drive away. Your wife just invited me. It's like,
Yeah, so I was outside barbecuing. I was on the grill making the food, and you sent me a text like, hey, I'm pulling up. And so she saw you like through the window, like pull up to the house. And then so she went to go like open the door for you. Well, I told you to come to the side gate so you wouldn't come inside. Yeah. And you handed me the tortillas and the tequila over the fence and you left. And then, so like immediately after you did that, I went back, like I put the stuff on the back table. I went back to grilling. She came outside. She's like, hey, doesn't Felipe drive a Chevy? I'm like, yeah. It was like, he just left. It was like, why did he leave? He was like, well, he just dropped the stuff off. I'm like, she's like, tell him to come back. I went and like changed. I opened the door for him. Like I was waiting for him, and then I saw him walk away. And I'm like, aw.
Oh shit! I didn't know all that. I just when she said, I left the door open for you. I'm like, I didn't even know you knew I was stopping by. So that was funny.
Yeah. She saw your car in the window. That's what happened.
So they invited me for lunch, which I'm thankful for. It was pretty good. Good job on the grill. He actually got a new grill. We had this charcoal one that's how old is that thing? Oh man,
dude, that tiny little charcoal one's no bigger than a TV tray. Like it's a tiny little like almost like it's designed like a portable charcoal like grill, but it's literally the size of like a TV tray.
Yeah, and I've last year for your birthday I grilled on that thing. Thing's annoying because how small it is, but you got a propane one, which people are gonna say like, well, charcoal gives you flavor. I just like the idea of turning on a grill and not having to struggle with it.
Yeah.
So, you made some good lunch there. The cream cheese stuffed jalapenos caught me off guard. We had a good lunch.
Yeah.
Because we had the cast iron skillet, this light bulb went off in your head to make
cast iron cornbread.
Yeah.
I love me some cornbread.
So, I always like to say the expression, Ramon did this, and I helped as like a little kid. Ramon, told me what to do, which is weird because normally I'm the one to like do this when we cook. So it's very weird for you to take charge, which it's crazy. And we mix and it's from scratch. Fuck boxes apparently in this house. From scratch, you added honey to it, which is I guess your take on it. And my God, not only that it came out good because of the cast iron skillet. Got a little crunchy because of the bottom. Dude, it was the best cornbread I've ever had. He's raising his hands right now in victory because you can't see it. I don't come across cornbread a lot in my life, but the ones I've had, dude, yours with I'd rather have that than cake. Like it was.
I'm not a fan of cake, but I can eat.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cake.
Tear up some cornbread any day.
It was really, really good. Yeah, it was really, really good, dude. Congrats on the skill you've picked up. That mixer has been used a lot, which is great because every time you get a new kitchen appliance, you hardly ever use it.
Oh no, like I'm required to use that because my wife loves to bake. And even better, she loves when I bake something for her. So I picked up a lot of just different recipes. But the continuous one is cornbread. And that's the one that I'm pretty much required to always have cornbread ready. And if we run out, then I got to make more.
I'm glad you sent me the recipe. I'm going to try to make it on my cast iron skillet now and see.
It's so good. Mm-hmm. But I was going to say we're probably going to wrap up this episode. We wanted to do a nice quick one this week because
we had to take advantage of us being together again.
Yeah, and so we didn't have a ton of stuff that we wanted to talk about. Kind of just figured we'd wing it and see where it went.
Because I remember we started sending stuff in our group chat on Discord of things we want to talk about. But it's been so long since we recorded that some of those things aren't really relevant to talk about anymore.
Exactly, yeah. So we kind of had to go with more recent. Mm-hmm. But thank you guys for listening. This has been episode 12 of the Nobody Important podcast. Please give us a follow on your favorite podcasting platform. We are on Anchor, PocketCasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So please just, whatever your favorite platform is to listen on, please give us a nice follow. The link is in the description on our Instagram, or also follow us on Instagram at Nobody Important Podcast. Also follow our food one at send_foods, FUDES. And if you find some really cool stuff that you actually like, some really cool food or like a nice picture of anything, send it over. Send it in the DMs to the Send Foods page, and any really cool ones or whatever we'll put on there too.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah. So thanks again for listening, guys. This has been episode 12. Later.
See ya.